Hello and welcome. Today, as we always do, we'll be going through the next poem in my book. Maybe someday, maybe someday. And as I said last time, the poem we'll be doing today is one called Toulouse, which is for Jonna Jinton's cat. So just usually I talk about the poem after I read it, but this time I wanted to kind of share a little bit of the story behind it before we go into it, and then I'll share the poem, and afterwards we'll go into some more specific details about it. But yeah, as I said, it's for Jonna Jinton's cat. I wrote this poem like nearly 5 years ago in 2020 when her cat named Toulouse died. And for anyone who doesn't know, I guess I should mention she's a like YouTuber I've been following for many years and has had a huge impact on my life in so many ways. And when I watched that video of hers, which I believe is called The Cycle of Life, and I'll put links to her stuff down in the description if you want to check it out. So when I watched that video of hers about her cat who had died, then it just made me want to write something about that, sort of for Toulouse, and about the about like her and the cat's relationship and stuff, and like about dealing with that loss of a cat. Like I have a cat of my own that I've had for a long time, who's actually in the room right here with me, and like I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a like a pet that's that close to you. And was just trying to kind of write about that. And also sort of a side thing, just because it's a bit of a fun fact kind of thing about Jonna Jinton, is that like I think it was just like about a year ago, a poem of mine actually got to be included in her 4 million subscriber special video, which I'll also put a link to. And that was just one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. And am like very thankful for her for like I guess finding some sort of value in my words and including it there, and all that brought me, because I had several people after that happened come from that video and mention how much my poem, which I've shared on this channel before, called Arranging the Pieces, which I shared in my like introduction video, the book, the video that's called The Book That Saved My Life. It's in that video if you want to check it out. And yeah, I got a lot of people saying that my words really had an impact on them, and it was a great experience for me, seeing that my words could actually have some sort of impact. And it was like one of my first times ever sharing anything publicly at the time, and so that was just really cool, and I'm forever grateful to her for doing that. And so this poem was written way before any of that happened, but yeah, just a kind of cool thing that happened. So now we'll get into the poem. I'll just go through and read it really quick here, and then afterwards I'll go in and talk a bit more about specifics about it and what certain lines mean to me, and sort of the message I was trying to come across with it. So here is Toulouse. Toulouse, 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 Toulouse. You had to lose, you had to lose, you had to lose, you had to lose, and you yearn to lose. You'll learn to lose. Still you yearn to lose, but you learned to lose. Would you keep him here if you could choose? Or was it right for him to be set loose? Does his absence leave a swelling bruise? Or does it settle your heart? I guess you choose. Oh, but you had to lose. You had to lose. You had to lose. Toulouse, Toulouse. You had to lose. Toulouse, Toulouse. You mourn Toulouse. You do, you do. You forswore Toulouse. Did you, did you? Do you allow his absence to swallow you? Or do you frame up the views? You choose, you choose. You choose to lose. Who knew Toulouse? But you don't accuse. We love you, Toulouse. Though you chose to lose, heaven knows the truth. Toulouse, Toulouse, heaven holds Toulouse. So that was Toulouse, and I hope that you enjoyed the poem and maybe found something you could connect with or just liked about it. And if anything stood out to you in any way, as always, I'd love to hear about that in the comments. And yeah, so now we'll kind of get into a bit more of the details about this and why I wrote it the way I did and everything. So, I mean, starting off, there's just kind of that part that establishes that parallel I made between the cat's name Toulouse and like the phrase of to lose. Just kind of reflecting how there's, I mean, this cat Toulouse, but having to lose this cat and like dealing with the loss and everything. So throughout, there's like the main theme of it is sort of just how when there's like someone or something or whatever that you like greatly value in some way and means so much to you, how hard it can be, of course, to one day lose that thing or person or pet or whatever it may be. But trying to, instead of just mourning it and allowing yourself to suffer because of this loss, making that choice to instead honor them positively for who they were, what it was, or anything like that, and choosing to believe that what happened, although like extremely painful or difficult or whatever because of course the loss, deciding that deciding to believe that it was what's right and best for them. So like in the case of Toulouse here, in that video where Jonna talked about this whole thing, she said that they ended up having to put him down because of like things he was struggling with and stuff. And so choosing to accept and believe that that choice was the right choice, despite the impact it may have on her or anyone else losing that sort of loved one or whatever. And that's kind of reflected there in those lines of, would you keep him here if you could choose, or was it right for him to be set loose? Does his absence leave a swelling bruise, or does it settle your heart? I guess you choose. And yeah, just that this loss could be something that ends up leaving this swelling bruise, this negative impact on you. But it could also be something that brings you peace and settles your heart, as I say there. Knowing that he's no longer suffering and struggling the ways he was. And I guess it's up to you to choose which way you want that to affect you and what you want to do with that like tough energy around what happened. Then that idea is kind of continued again later on when I say Do you allow his absence to swallow you, or do you frame up the views? You choose, you choose. Again, kind of reflecting that same sort of idea, but then kind of giving another, I guess, perspective sort of on it. Like, do you allow this thing that happened to continue to hurt you and weigh down on you, or do you kind of let it go? It's a little bit different from the other one. Instead of like being whether do you accept it or not, it's do you allow those feelings to sort of stick around and consume you, or do you, like as I say in there, like frame of views, like put up pictures of Toulouse or whoever it may be in your life, or whatever the case. Like, do you find ways to continue to sort of honor them and keep them in your life as you can, and kind of separate yourself from that struggle you may be dealing with, instead of just keeping it all bottled up inside and consuming you? Do you find some external way to contain that feeling and be able to more positively reflect or connect or whatever on that experience and the hurt you may be struggling with? I don't feel like I have a whole lot to say about this overall, because I mean it's a pretty short and simple kind of poem, but I guess just the last thing here is like there near the end, it's kind of trying to just make that decision to take the more positive side and trust that Toulouse is in a better place, and that it was what was right for him and everyone else. And just choosing to continue to remember Toulouse and all the great things he may have brought to Jonna's life, or anyone else, or all of her viewers too, like me. Like through her videos, I had kind of built sort of a connection with her animals in a way, and it was like a bit painful for me knowing that like that had happened to him. And just this whole poem was kind of just meant to reflect that experience and what it could be like and all that, but even more than that, to just be something to honor and remember Toulouse by, and also be a reminder that I don't remember exactly how she said it, but in the video she said something in there that was like a really valuable thing she said. My cat's making a mess of things down here now. It's distracting me, but she says, all right. It was something like,
every time something like this happens, when you lose somebody you love, or a dog or a cat or whatever, you get a new perspective in life. You get reminded what really matters, and that you should every day give all you can of your love.
I don't know if you can hear messing around with stuff down here, but I guess it's kind of fitting for this video that I have a cat messing around with stuff down here. But yeah, I just that really meant something to me, and I wanted to have some way to express my sort of connection to the video and to her videos and all that, and to honor this cat and for all that he was and everything. And so anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope that you will stick around. And I don't know if you can hear that, but It's, anyway, next week we'll be back with a poem called "Focus on the Moon," which is one of my favorite poems, even to this day, that I've ever written. So I hope I'll see you back here again for that poem, and you can, of course, subscribe if you'd like to stick around, and would love to have you here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for being here, and as always, just remember, we're all broken, and we're just arranging the pieces. Thank you.